You sit down to do something simple, and your mind just doesn't start. You look at it. Wait. Try to focus. But nothing really happens. So you try again. You read the same line twice. Then a third time. And still don't take it in. You open another tab. Check your phone. Look away for a second. Then try to come back. Not because you want to avoid it, but because staying with the task feels harder than it should. And that's when the thought starts. Why is this so difficult? I used to be able to do this. What's wrong with me? You try to push through it. Tell yourself to focus, to be disciplined, to get back on track. But the more you push, the heavier your mind feels. At some point, it stops feeling like tiredness and starts feeling like something else. Like you're the problem. And that's the part that stays with you. Because now it's not just, I'm tired. It becomes, I'm not functioning properly. Maybe you've noticed it in other moments too. Starting something, then stopping halfway. Forgetting what you were about to do. Walking into a room and losing the thread of why you went there. Staring without really thinking. Or reaching for your phone again. Not because you want distraction, but because it feels easier than the effort of focusing. Even rest can start to feel strange. You lie down. Sit still. Step away for a while. But it doesn't feel like recovery. You just feel flat. Not fully rested. Not fully restored. Just less active. And from the outside, nothing may look obviously wrong. You're still there. Still showing up. Still replying. Still getting through enough to seem okay. But inside, everything feels heavier than it should. Even simple things, even familiar things, even things you know how to do. Now notice this. There was probably a time when this would not have meant very much. You would have just thought, I'm tired today, and moved on. But now, it feels different. Now it feels like something is wrong. Like you've changed. Like your mind is not working the way it should. And that is where it shifts. It stops being about energy and becomes about identity. Not, I'm having a hard day, but, what is wrong with me? And that question creates its own weight. Because now you are not only tired, you are watching yourself be tired. Judging it. Comparing it to who you think you should be. But what if that isn't what's happening? What if this isn't failure? What if this isn't laziness? What if this is burnout? Because burnout doesn't always look dramatic. It does not always look like collapse. Or tears. Or some visible breaking point. Often it feels like this. Quiet. Low energy. Difficulty thinking clearly. Feeling mentally stretched. Even when you are doing very little. Not because you are not trying, but because you've been carrying too much. For too long. Thinking constantly. Responding constantly. Holding things together. Managing pressure. Monitoring what still needs attention. Without enough space to recover. Without enough true stopping. Without enough mental quiet. Without enough time where nothing was being asked of you. And eventually, your system slows down. Not because it is failing, but because it is protecting you. Because when the load has been too high for too long, the mind does not always get sharper. Sometimes it gets slower, foggy, flat, less able to hold one more thing. So what you're feeling is not a loss of ability. It's a loss of capacity. That is a very different thing. Ability says, I can't do this. Capacity says, I can't carry this much right now. And when you see it that way, something starts to soften. Because now you do not have to turn this into a character flaw. Now you do not have to call yourself lazy for reacting like a human mind under too much load. Now you do not need to push harder, fight yourself, or prove anything. You need something else. Space. If you take a slow breath now, in gently, and out slowly, you might notice something small. Not a full reset. Not sudden clarity. Not instant energy. Just a slight release. And that is where recovery begins. Not through pressure, but through permission. Permission to pause. Permission to do less for a moment. Permission to stop expecting yourself to perform at full capacity when your system is clearly telling you otherwise. Even now, you may still feel tired. Your thoughts may still feel slow. Your concentration may still feel fragile. And that's okay. Because nothing is required from you in this moment. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are responding to a level of mental load That has been too much. For too long. And your system is asking for something simple. Not more effort. More space. If it feels comfortable, place your hand gently on your chest. Just for a moment. And notice your breath. You are still here. Even in the tiredness. Even in the mental fog. Even in the slowness. And slowly. With time. With actual recovery. Your mind can feel clear again. Your energy can return again. Your thoughts can begin to flow again. Not through force, but through space. Stay here for a moment. Just breathing. Just noticing. Nothing to prove. Nothing to force. Nothing to fix all at once. You didn't lose your ability. You ran out of capacity. And that can be restored.